Today, I finally built an Outfeed table for my table saw. For the most part, I followed the plans from Michael Alm, so be sure to check out his video as well. So far, I've just cut my plywood and melamine top to size, and then I laminated them together with carpet tape. Then I just trimmed off the excess and squared everything up. Next up was to cut the 2x4 support that mounts to the table. Once everything was all cut to size, I cut a groove in the 2x4 so that it can mount to the railing on the back of the table saw and make sure that it sits flush with the top of the saw, so you can see me doing that here. Then I used some painter's tape to mark the location of the miter slots. We then just build a simple little jig to cut in the grooves with a router. I decided just to use my handheld router instead of taking my larger router out of the table, so because of that I had to do a few more passes, but still it worked out really well and ended up being fine. As soon as the grooves were all cut, I started working on the walnut that would be the outside trim. After milling up the lumber and cutting everything to final size, I then measured and marked for my mitered corners and got those cut as well. I then went back to the 2x4 that I cut earlier and pre-drilled some holes so that I could mount it to the back of the plywood. I first put down some glue and then screwed it in. Now it was time to start assembling everything. We first added some screws into the 2x4 support through the pre-existing mounting holes. Then we used glue and 18 gauge brad nails to attach the walnut trim. On the last piece, I needed to drill and countersink some holes so that we could attach bolts through the side of the cast iron table. After that, I just needed to put on some finish and she was all done. I love how it turned out.